It doesn't look like it. We have Wam spotted on this western side of Canal. And who else do we have in the east?
I'm not excited for this. Okay, I'm still excited for this game. It's RecoN as the Abbasid Dynasty. And he is no longer playing boxes. And let's see what we do have here. It's HRE Abbasid. How do you feel about this matchup?
You know, I like when you're taking water shoreline fish, Abbasid actually gets a much bigger boost than what people realize. Everyone, values HRE with their inspired wood eco, but people forget that Abbasid can immediately place that dock. When they age up, all their vills are still continuing to work, so it makes that transition into military ships and taking water a lot easier as well, if that's your idea. So I do like the Abbasid choice on this map. I'll probably would expect him to go potentially with the Culture Wing is what we'll see sometimes, and he's grabbing stragglers actually.
Yeah,
as
getting those dock and fishing ships out as fast as he can.
Yeah, just doesn't even want to have to burn any wood for a lumber camp at all. Just how you said, immediately queuing up those fishing ships. Hope to getting up to castle, or not castle, to feudal as fast as possible with that as well. First one already out, as you see, and that's the power of the Abbasid. Cheaper dock, as well as immediately grabbing those stragglers, and next one on the way.
Yeah, and Wam is pretty heavily on the wood right now, heavier than RecoN is. If you look at it, RecoN is also taking the berries at home, so potentially looking for a faster H-up than Wam here. And then maybe contesting the HRE dock. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that RecoN went for the berries. Like, yeah, obviously you're the Abbasid and you have the stronger berries, but just how I said saving 50 wood on the lumber camp, well, that's where you're saving 50 wood if you don't build that mill. And Wam, just how his brother built the barracks after his dock, he is opting to build that barracks as the HRE, gonna start pumping out some spearmen, and it's gonna be hard for RecoN to match the spearman number if he doesn't immediately have a dock or a barracks being dropped already, because then he will always find himself a little behind. But one thing I just noticed, this is not the pup, and there is a boar near the dock of RecoN. Will we see the magical boar plays coming in? I know we all love it, and there it is. We see the scout of RecoN. He sees the barracks. He should see the production, and it's a quick wall coming in around his dock.
Immediate reaction. Nice. But will he be able to close it off?
Wam has not pushed forward. Yeah, he sees the spearman, and Wam still, he spots out the little shorter wall and immediately goes to start trying to burn it down. Might try to circle around the backside, let the next spearman come on in, but this is just where it shows the power of how fast you can build these walls, as well as heal walls that are being burnt down, as RecoN has went ahead and finished up those walls, one on the backside being burnt. If Wam does a good job splitting this, he can potentially burn this down, as well as having a scout. But the villager, oh my god, perfect timing. I wish he would have had that spearman sit on the other side to continue to split focus on these, as some of these wall segments are quite low health, but he brings a villager up to chop through. Wall gets deleted, and RecoN spots it out.
The dock. RecoN just abandons his fishing eco. I mean, he only made 3 ships, so that's sort of fine, but it's not a situation you want to be in. Let's look at his food. He is on 530, so he is going up as soon as this House of Wisdom finishes. And then in 1 minute and 50, because he's a bastard.
Yep. And yeah, this is just kind of where we see the same thing we saw last game, where Wam's going to have this Holy Roman eco. That's not only the eco, he's also going to have the fishing eco compared to his opponent, who's not going to have it at all. Economic wing is what he goes for, which makes sense because he ended up losing water completely. So he will end up kind of transitioning this more into a land fight. Wam's got a significant amount of spears that RecoN's gonna have to deal with first before even moving on to anything else.
And then Wam's probably pretty happy. Let's see, where's his gold? He has 5 on the gold right now. So he should be going up in, let's say, 40 seconds after the Abbasid. That's 40 seconds where RecoN can pump out archers, can contest these spears. But the spears are moving in on the Abbasid right now.
Yeah, RecoN, though, he already proactively was building an outpost on his gold. Doesn't mean he won't be idled, as those spearmen can continually just poke and prod and use that walking distance that we see, as notice just continuing to idle those vills off of the gold. But Eco Wing is already on its way up, and RecoN moving heavier onto the stone. So looks like he has plans for a secondary town center, or maybe he's gonna, I lied. That won't make any sense. Yeah, secondary town center is definitely what it is. It's not gonna be any dock upgrades, anything funky. That's more on the heavier water maps with deep sea fish. And the chapel goes down on the wood line. Wam wants to just make sure to inspire his wood economy for as long as he possibly can, as well as still continuing to get his sheep below.
Yeah, and eventually transition into farms. But oh my god, this is so annoying. And look where RecoN is dropping his new dock.
Is there even fishing near there?
No, there isn't. And it's gonna, like, the spears can just stand outside of tower range and burn us down.
He needs to cancel that dock. There it is. Dock gets canceled. RecoN has so much wood right now. In my eyes, and fresh food stuff is on its way. He needs to potentially, this is kind of that bait of the spearman. It's, do you drop a range? Do you go ahead and pump out a camel archer or 2 or 3 or some archers?
I mean, if he
has enough for a secondary town square already, though.
If you don't, these spears are just gonna infinitely poke you while Wam's fishing eco is still up and going and perfectly healthy, and then you're just gonna die.
I don't disagree with that. Chapel has finished. Is the prelate inside that chapel? Where's the prelate?
Please don't say such stuff like that. It's giving me anxiety.
It's in. We're in there. We're in there.
We don't have a Moketronic game. It's all fine.
Don't call out Moketronic like that. Second town center already going down. That dock is getting rebuilt where RecoN wanted it. There are a few spearmen there that are still going to continue to be annoying. This time, I don't think it gets denied just because town center is about to finish. All those spears will immediately get focused down by that town center. Yep, there it is. Couple more spears going down, so really good job by RecoN just utilizing his defensive structures. But this dock, in my eyes, makes no sense, as there's not really
there's a galley on the water. I think this dock's main purpose is just to pump out military ships and not to do fishing.
There it is. The Bagla is on its way. And yeah, you are correct. It is going to be more for that military ships, but Wam already has a wall down, already has that other dock on the backside. He can just move all of his fishing boats through that and just, safely fish behind that. It will take so much time for RecoN to try to break through.
Wait, did you see that mythical building that went up at the river next to the dock? It's an HRE archery range.
Oh my, you see that? You can build archers as HRE people. You've seen it here, you can see it, and we will continue to reinforce this. That is a unit that HRE has the ability to make. They researched the technology, they figured out fletching, and they figured out how to shoot some arrows.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's look at the income right now. Wam is at 600 food per minute, and that's pretty much only fishing. He has oh, never mind, he still has 7 villagers on sheep. I'm lying to you guys.
What did that Springle just shoot at? Did anyone else see that? Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
Apparently he can dodge Springle shots.
But anyways, that dock looks like it had the upgrade inside of it as well, as it's shooting some extra shots out. And that's where RecoN has this little line in the sand drawn, and he's playing this very defensive game. But we cannot forget that he has a secondary town center. Villagers. So this is like a big difference between a lot of people compare villagers with trade, like the TC boom to trade, because that's like a lot of the meta right now. The more villagers you get, the further out on the map it forces you to expand. So RecoN will have to take more and more map control as he gets more villagers. Wam already has that map control. I was going to compare it to trade, because trade, you just have to secure your wood line or your trade line and not necessarily take the map control. Where right now, RecoN, in just a little bit of time, he's going to be running out of, you know, the backwood. He's going to have to move on wood lines, and he's going to have to take that next set of berries like you're about to see. Double demo coming in. Oh, no. Oh.
I mean, nice dodge. Also, cute play by Wham here. I really would have loved for him to make that connection, but tower's being denied, and a new one's going up already.
Yeah, and you know, you know, Wham obviously saw that. He's got his demos ready, and I think his main plan with those demos were the Springle chips, but he just saw those juicy villagers as well as an outpost, and almost just struck gold with those demos.
Yeah, Wham's making a ram here right now, and it's already heading in through the dock. And if you look at the military numbers, you might get a little bit worried for RecoN.
And there's a villager going down. We are starting to see a few more of these worker kills coming out. And so Wham, though, only is at a 2 economic lead, but you cannot have an oversight on the military. And look at how much military Wham has compared to RecoN. And RecoN's the one who's starting to idle a little bit, starting to be forced back, starting to take that pressure. So it's not like he will have an easy ability to start matching up some of these military numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at the map right now, there's a second town center going up for Wham. And if you look at economy units, he's even. I mean, that includes the fishing ships, but he's perfectly even with the double town center Abbasid. And Abbasid is basically forced off food because he cannot access these forward berries. The other one is under the tower, but there's a galley and a Springle ship going on top of that right now.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but camel archers don't trade that well into rams. They're very expensive, and when your opponent has a huge mass, like the ability of the camel archers is using the mobility, using their high base damage to trade effectively. Yes, RecoN has a good number of those. They're going to do very well, but not if the mass for Wham's side is quadruple the amount, and he has rams starting to take down your base.
I mean, these camel archers can do a lot of damage, and they are the correct choice of unit in this case, because you don't have any other choice but to make camel archers, because they can kite and trade effectively into these melee stacks. But yeah, RecoN cannot access resources in the front right now.
Yep.
And his wood line is about to run out.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to. RecoN has gotten his economic lead at this point. He just doesn't have the map control to use that economic lead anywhere. 13 idle vills starting to move forward with those camel archers. You cannot dive into spears and men-at-arms are diving in on the other side onto his workers. So in just a second, we thought he had the economic lead, but his villagers are getting slaughtered by some spears, slaughtered by some men-at-arms. Camel archers trying to do everything they can to trade right now, but double rams are on top of that town center. Town center getting close to going down, it's on fire. Villagers trying to heal it up. Next ram shot will not take it down. Villagers just doing God's work over there, continuing to keep that alive as long as it possibly can, and camel archers taking down everything in their path for the time being. Really good hold by RecoN here.
Yeah, RecoN's really happy about that hold, and then he realizes that Wham's Castle Age.
Yep, Wham's Castle Age behind all of this pressure coming in. Not only that, he's dropped a second town center himself. He's going to be able to get all these relics. And I mean, this just shows you the power of fishing that doesn't get denied when your opponent invested into it and you denied theirs. It's just such a snowball game. And Wham is just going to continue that snowball. Max up more of this eco. He's matched the TC numbers. Not anymore, as RecoN is dropping a third.
That's just... I don't know. I mean, basically, RecoN is dropping these TCs now to protect his villagers when they are gathering. These are just rally points at this point. He's not really looking to mass produce. I mean, of course, he's going to mass produce villagers, but this is not the main point. This is to secure resources.
Yeah, and this berry bush is just a little too close to that river. Villagers getting shot by not only the Springle ship, but also the galley in the background, so taking AoE damage as well as high base damage. More of these units for Wham are funneling into the eco of RecoN, who's trying to get some return damage as well with his Camel Archers. Just doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Men-at-Arms, these are Castle Age Men-at-Arms now. We cannot forget they're so much tankier. They're so much stronger, so much harder to deal with. And this is just when Abbasid's going to struggle. Whole entire eco is going to be idle. 20, 30 villagers idled right now for RecoN. And that's not even including the ones running around, the ones, you know, trying to find another spot that might be a safe spot to gather some resources. And so this is a game where I feel like we see the end in sight.
Yeah, RecoN's gonna go for a cute little, I say little, but there's 11 Camel Archers here. He's gonna go for a raid on Wham's gold. Let's see if he actually finds the villagers here.
Yeah, this could be a lot of return damage in, but, you know, RecoN finding himself down 12 vills, it's going to continue to fall. And just how we talked about all of that idle that he had, and Wham just continuing to build up production, continuing to utilize that Castle Age advantage.
Yeah, Wham dropped 5 stables and he's producing knights out of all of them. So that's concerning.
Yeah, and even though you're like, but it's camels against knights, it's like, yeah, but those are feudal age camel archers against castle age knights. Not the trade you want. Camel archers have to kite back. They're going to have to take down that prelate and back on away, which again allows Wham to just take over the map control back yet again, not worry about anything coming in onto his eco, and just push out on the map and make RecoN be the one who has to react, has to do something.
Exactly. And is RecoN actually can he still produce? Yeah, he's producing villagers out of all of his town centers, so he's basically losing constantly, and he's still staying on par with Wham. But yeah, he realizes he's completely locked out of resources, and he was too long in his corner, sitting basically idle there.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where, like, you try to stabilize, you try to give yourself a couple shots back into it, which, you know, if those camels had found a huge raid, then he would have been right back into it. They just weren't able to do so, and then it gets to a point where you're like, all right, there is no coming back from this, and that was the point that we ended up